welcome to my Pecha Kucha assignment. I chose driving from the past, present, and future. My name is Nicholas Conley. There will be a lot to cover today. So let's get into it. The first car ever made was made by the Ford Motor Company. They made the Model A in Detroit, Michigan. Funny enough, I'm from Michigan. It was made in July of 1903. It was a very pivotal car for the era of 1903. It allowed transportation. 2010s, the years of luxury. The Rolls-Royce Springfield was made in 1919 and quickly became one of the most luxurious cars of its time, as well as the Puig L76 Grand Prix, being known for its more speed-friendly vehicle. The 1920s were known for the integration of newer motors and some more power to move cross-country. Vehicles like the Falcon Knight Roadster came to be, as well as the 1920 Rolls-Royce Phantom Limousine. Excuse me. In the 1930s, this was a new generation for people with the start of new vehicles, and this also began the age of the standard transmission, as we know today as a manual transmission. The 1930s were best known for its Buick Century and the Ford Deluxe Roadster. The 1940s were best known for their beautiful refresh on body styles and the new integration of the sheriff vehicles outfitted with some of the best tech from the 1940s. Cadillac also took the lead in the vehicle manufacturing industry and had many different models to choose from for the 40s. The 50s, the Chevrolet Bel Air convertible, one of the most iconic vehicles from the 1950s era. Also, the Buick Skylark was one of the very popular vehicles in the 1950s. Personally, one of my favorite. The 1960s, the decade of muscle. The first ever Ford Mustang was created in 1964, starting the era of muscle cars. Chevy also made the Chevrolet Camaro in 1967, and the Ford GT50 was also made to beat Ferrari during this era. Very monumental. The 1970s, Dodge joined the fray of muscle. Brand new Dodge Charger. And Ford also released its new iteration of the Mustang, the Boss 429 and the Boss 302. Some very beautiful cars for the 1970s. Now, in the 1970s as well, there were more economical friendly cars, and they started using a little bit less steel for their frames and body panels. Chevrolet and Pontiac also joined up with the muscle fight with a new lineup of vehicles like the Corvette and the Pontiac GTO. Some very beautiful cars. The 1980s, the station wagons, the Buick GSX, GNX, the Grand Nationals. Some very beautiful cars from the 1980s. There was a lot going on with the 1980s, as well as the fuel prices, the reduction in the amount of metal available around the world. Lamborghini started making some newer engines, causing a lot more, we'll call them supercar era, to begin. Nissan also started making the Datsun, and during this era, Ford also made some very beautiful trucks like the Bronco, and Audi also created some very economical cars with engines with turbos built in to help with long distance travel at a quicker speed. Now, the 1990s, a brand new refresh, plastic bodies and frames and all of this. The Porsche, the Mustang, some beautiful cars for the 1980s. Mustang got a really big refresh. Porsche also had a very big refresh. So in the 1990s as well, the Dodge Viper was created, as well as some prototype cars hinting towards the 2000s. The Dodge Viper had a V10 motor, the biggest Dodge has ever put into a vehicle at the time. And it boasted a 6-speed transmission, as well as the GMC Cyclones and the Chevy S10s were also a part of the 1990s. We also have the Ferrari F40 that was made during the 90s. One of the best supercars for the era. The 2000s brought upon a whole new age. The Dodge Viper, the Dodge Challenger, and some newer iterations of Porsche. The 2000s Dodge Viper was very fast. It set new records. Dodge had high prices for their new Challengers. The 2010s era, more economical friendly cars like the Toyota Camry. You still had your muscle cars like the 2011 Chevy Camaro, and the 2010 Koenigseggs came out. Fast cars, lightweight, death traps if you ask me. Now, the 2020, the era of electric vehicles. Tesla, Sony, Ford, GMC, not so much Dodge, but electric cars to reduce gas consumption. It was big. It was bold. It was a new move. Now, the future and beyond. Who knows where the future will take us? There's so much out there for vehicle manufacturers to discover. Tesla and the big three, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, they're going to pave the way for our future. Now, thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day.